Hello again. Right, so another one of my tech videos. So this time going through how you disassemble the full top plate of the Yashica. In this case, the Yashica Lynx 5000E. But this is almost identical to the Lynx 5000, the Lynx 1000, and also I'll be referring back to the Electro 35 and various other Electro 35 models. So the assembly of the top plate and the rangefinder and viewfinder is virtually the same between each one. So whatever I do with this one, you can do with almost any other Electro fixed lens rangefinder. So first of all, the tools you will need to do this successfully are first of all a lens wrench or a lens spanner. So I got this one from eBay for about £5. They're very inexpensive, but once you get one, it should last you a lifetime. And then I use a precision screwdriver kit, specifically ones that have the JIS standard head shapes. Most of these cameras come from Japan, so they were made with screw heads that were of the JIS standard. So I'll be using the JIS J000 for most of this, or for all of this demonstration. So I just use it in the screwdriver there. So again, that cost me about £10 from eBay. So what else? A little torch, which is always handy to check your work. Cotton Q-tips. Again, a box of 100 of these is about £1 or £2. So you can buy them from any drugstore or any pharmaceuticals in the UK. Okay, and then and also a air blower. It's handy just to blow away some of the dust and dirt and other bits you might find floating around inside your rangefinder. So for cleaning chemicals themselves, I use a isopropyl alcohol, a high concentration isopropyl alcohol. So make sure it's undiluted. So ideally 98.9 or 99.8% or 100% in this case. I don't recommend buying them from a health or beauty store because most of the isopropyl alcohol, I believe, is used for hair dye or something. That normally comes with perfumes in it, which will damage the coating. Or I recommend going for just pure isopropyl alcohol. Again, I got this from eBay, or rubbing alcohol, sorry. So I got this from eBay for about £5 again. And finally, so this is useful for not just this job, this is useful for if you're repairing a lens as well. White vinegar, I got this from Wilko for about, again, £1, £2. This is used as a glass cleaner, or also it's used as a fungicide, so it's excellent in removing fungus from lenses and glass in the rangefinder. Sometimes you might see the rangefinder is all messed up or has fungus, is infested with fungus, but you can use this to remove it. So I tend to keep it in a little vial bottle like this, just because it's easier to work with. And also, not shown here because I don't think we need it for this work. Also, distilled water. So just some pure distilled water, normally used in car engines. You can buy a bottle of it, again for about £1 or £2 from a hardware or motor store. Okay, so let's jump into it now. So on the Yashica 5000E, there are two screws. There's one on either side of the top there, and in the Electro, there's one on the back, one on either side, and also not forgetting the battery check housing there. So I'll just lay that down just there. I'll be focusing on the Yashica Lynx because my Electro has film in it. So I will be using a J. To double check, a J000 screwdriver head here. So then just very gently, just unscrewing those screws. Just pop those down there. I recommend also having a little tray next to you, just so you can put your screws and other bits in, just so you don't lose them. Otherwise that would be a disaster. Okay, so just putting that down there. Okay, so those are only two screws we need to remove. Oh, also remove the battery. If there's a battery in there, remove it. Otherwise, the top part, the top cover, just won't come off. So we need to remove the film advance lever and the film rewind. So the way that's done is, so first of all, I'll remove the film advance lever. So you use your lens spanner and set it roughly to the correct distance for those two holes are. So line them up, that should be, looks good, okay. And then tighten up the screws. Okay, there we go, just move that forward. And then gently coax it in a anti-clockwise direction and unscrewing it. So sometimes, if you've never done this before, the glue, there'll be some leftover glue, probably some thread locker which has dried and solidified a little bit on the thread. So it might take a bit of extra elbow grease to remove the screw from the film advance lever and also the film rewind. But they will come undone. Just give them just a little bit of a little wiggle, but not too much. Okay. So remove the decorative, the screw and the decorative plate on the top there. So I'm calling it decorative plate because that's what it is on the OM1. And then we remove the lever with the washer as well. Just lay that down there, and also the advanced washer there, which has the notches in. Put them down there. Okay. So turn it around. So I've already done another video showing how to remove this, but I'll try and do this a bit better in this video. So we undo the back film cover. Oops. Okay. And then we want to insert something solid into this notch here, where the film spool usually goes. So that can be anything from a screwdriver, from a, well, whatever really, as long as it's tough enough to hold that in place while we unscrew the film, rewind there. So I will use my screwdriver in this case, just because I've done this before and it's not on there very tightly. But this again can be extremely tight, so it will come off. Just be gentle, be firm with it. So also, just while I'm here, we don't need to unscrew that top screw there. That's just to remove the handle, and we don't need to do that in most cases. So we will hold the rewind knob and lever from the bottom there, okay, using our 2 fingers, or 3 in this case, and then just giving it a little, there we go, and then again unscrewing in an anti-clockwise direction, okay, and then just laying that down there with the washer. Whoops, there we go, and the washer, there we go. So on the Lynx we can close the film door again, but on the Electro we can't. So it's important to make sure the door stays open, otherwise you'll have a bit of a tough time getting the door open again. So I'll move over to the Electro quickly just to talk about the differences. So with the Electro, just move that way. So with the Electro we have to remove the ASA dial, which is again just using your lens wrench and just turning this central screw in an anti-clockwise direction. So that will remove the screw, the number dial here, and also the top plate. So this whole circle area here will come off. And also on the back we have the battery check button. So those 2 screws will undo. The button will come with it as well. So I recommend is just undoing the screws, tipping it forward, and then it should fall out into your hand. So then once that's done, just lay those 2 bits to the side and back to the 5000. So the process is the same between the 5000 and the Electro here. So now that everything is taken off, you grab it from both sides of the top cover here. Sometimes we have to gently press inwards on either side, but not in all cases. So we gently coax it up like so. There we go. It will come off. Just sometimes there's a little bit of glue that that stays on from the leather, depending on the model. I think on the Electro it's worse, but on the Lynx it's not so bad. So there'll sometimes be a little bit of glue that comes off from when the leatherette was originally glued on. But again, that will come off. Just use a very small flathead screwdriver to very gently coax the top cover off. So we then just lift that up. Okay, lift it up slowly, because in this case the Electro 5000E and on all Electro 35 models there will be wires attached to the underside of the lid. In this case it's for the meter. In the Electro's case it's for the flash sync cable. So we just want to gently lay that down there, just hopefully where it won't move, because if we sever those wires then we'll be in trouble. Okay, cool. So on all Electros, Lynxes, I'm not sure about the I'm not sure about the ministers. Maybe it's the same. I'm not sure. So we'll see a top cover here. Normally it's glued down on the corners there. But if that's the case, again, just use a very small flathead screwdriver and gently pry the metal away from the top. Don't worry if it bends, it's very malleable metal, so you can just bend it back into place, it's not a problem. Okay, and then I stuck a bit of sticky tape on there just to keep it together. I can just open it up like that. So let's move on to cleaning now. So the way I've always learned how to clean this glass is normally by using the blower first, and then that just removes all of the smaller the heavier particles off the lens glass and rangefinder glass itself. And then I always use the white vinegar to so I'll do a demonstration here now. I might as well do it now because I think I could do an extra little clean. So I will gently use the Q-tip and dip it into the white vinegar. Not too much, but if you do get too much on there, just use a paper towel just to get rid of some of the excess. Okay. So then I want to very gently clean the inside of the front piece of glass lens there, the underside glass of the front of the viewfinder, okay, and also the little bit of glass that covers the rangefinder window. Nothing else should, so the Q-tip shouldn't touch any other pieces of glass, like the horizontal pieces here. Very important that we don't touch those, because it's very easy to rub off the coating, the reflective coating on the inside. So try not to ever touch the horizontal pieces of glass. So we just very gently use our Q-tip and rub on the inside, very gently, rubbing in circles, taking your time. There is no rush. Okay, so once that's done, so I won't do too much here because I already cleaned it not so long ago, so I won't do it too much, but just for demonstration. Okay, so once that's done, again, just use a new Q-tip. These are so cheap, you can just go through one every time. So I always start with a layer of white vinegar first. That gets rid of any fungus they might have on there. It gets rid of any, it just gives the glass an overall, just a good clean overall. And then we want to get rid of the residue, any residue left behind from the white vinegar. So that's where our isopropyl alcohol comes in. So again, we dip the Q-tip in the isopropyl alcohol. Please use a well ventilated area when you're using this. The fumes aren't great, and once you're done, make sure to close the lid up straight away, otherwise all the alcohol will evaporate. So then we dry off the excess with our paper towel, and then just we rub on the inside again of the glass just to get rid of all of that excess white vinegar. Okay. Again, be slow here. We don't want to touch that horizontal glass if we can help it. Okay. So it's always good to use a well lit area for this as well. So the reason why is because we can use our a small torch to shine through, just so we can see, just to check our work, just make sure it's all clean. That's not bad. A little bit more on the outside there. Normally I would use a new Q-tip for this, but for this it's okay. This is a parts rangefinder, so I don't mind not being perfect with it. Okay, so once that's done, again, check. Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, brilliant. Okay, so once you've cleaned the glass there, the eyepiece there, no, sorry, the eyepiece is there. I think I'll just give that a quick wipe. Okay, so once you've cleaned the eyepiece there, that's really it. Those are the bits that get the most, I suppose, get the most dust and grime or whatever sticking to them. If you do have to, very occasionally, we find that the horizontal pieces of glass do get some dust or something on them. If that's the case, use a clean Q-tip and very gently, just gently brush those Q-tip along the surface. Don't wipe it, just dab the surface gently, getting rid of those specks of dust. Only if you have to. Again, I find it's quite rare that you have to do that, because most of the time they work pretty great. Most of the time they are in good condition. The only other piece of glass you may have to clean is the rangefinder lens, which is just, let me just get in there, which is just that small square piece of glass that moves when you adjust the focus on your lens. So this can sometimes get some dirt on it, or occasionally I've seen it where there is fungus on that lens. So if you do have to clean that, again, very gently use a Q-tip on the behind the glass lens there. If you have to get in between this piece of this lens here and the rangefinder lens there, use a very thin, very small piece of paper towel. Douse it in first of all white vinegar, just to remove all the fungus, and then very gently wipe it using a corner. Wipe it on the front of the lens, and then you use isopropyl alcohol again to remove the residue of the white vinegar. So once that's it really. So once that's done, just leave the top open for a few minutes, just to let any vapors from any of the chemicals evaporate, and then you can also use your blower just to help speed that process up a little bit. I tend to do that myself, and also just making sure the viewfinder glass is clean. That's good. Okay, so once you're done there, that's really it. There's not much else to explain apart from just to reassemble it. So with the top cover here, I tend to use a bit of sticky tape just to gently, there we go, come on, if I just put that on back on there, there we go. So I tend to use a bit of sticky tape on the, just to keep it still, just to keep it steady, so it won't move around, and then that's it. So the only thing I can say, when you're reassembling the top plate, be very gentle. Again, take your time. There's no rush here at all. Just very gently pop it on the lugs there, along the strap lugs, and then so occasionally you'll have wires popping out the front. So then just use your screwdriver just to coax those back in to the front, to the housing, and this one isn't going in, this one isn't playing ball. Okay, so just pop those back into their place. Okay, make sure we're not pinching them, and then it should just snap back into place. There we go, done. So once that's done, again, just so reassembling, put the film rewind knob on first, then the rewind lever, and then the ASA dial for the Electro case, and for the battery check in the Electro case as well. So once that's done, just make sure the viewfinder looks good, make sure the rangefinder also lines up properly. Put your two side screws back in, and that's it, we're done. So it doesn't take long. Once you've done it once, you can do it again and again, and it becomes a 5-minute job. Okay, so I hope that helped. If you have any questions, please message me. I'll be more than happy to help. And yeah, so I'll see you next time. Any requests, please let me know. And take care. I'll see you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.